It happened again. I was looking up in the enclosure, and I was like, hey, wouldn't it be like so funny if there was a baby right there? There's a baby right here. Oh my goodness. This is stressful now because the last time I found the other one on accident, like right away. And now I don't know where the other one is, and I really hope it's still in the enclosure. Right there. Oh, sorry. So the question is, should I go mad looking for the next one? Because as far as I know, the other one could be anywhere in the enclosure, but also anywhere in my room even. So here are these babies. And I'll just add them in. Here we go. This is the guy I found on the ground. And then the one I found in the enclosure, there he is. So those two are adorable. Now I'm going to add this guy in with them. These babies that she produces are so dark. Okay, he looks like he's about to shed, so he looks pretty new, I think, from the looks of it. I'm just going to add him in down here. He's also really tiny. Okay, there he is. He's so dark. It's crazy. Whenever these babies of Darwin's are in bioactive tanks, they're the darkest geckos. It's crazy. But I don't know how or why, because Darwin isn't that dark, just that our babies are. See, I always thought I'd find them like in the corners here or something. The problem is I don't know when it hatched, or if the other one's hatched, or where the other one would be if it has hatched. It's like, is it even worth looking for? Because I could probably really turn this place upside down looking for it. But again, ultimately, it could not even be in the tank. It's like I'd rather wait for it to show up. It seems like they just kind of hang out right out in the open anyway. And you might be spotting that there's a bunch of eggs in this tank. There's nothing in this tank but a bunch of eggs. So you look back there. That's where I put all the eggs after they hatched. I just threw the egg back there because the isopods can eat them and stuff, but I know that no geckos have laid eggs in there because there's no geckos that live in there. So that's why I throw all the eggs in there, just so I don't get confused. And there's so many spots, especially on the background. Like, it was sitting right here, but what if it's sitting on the other side of one and I just don't see it? I'm very happy I found the other one so quickly, but I just don't even know. Or she could have eaten it even. You know, there's so many different possibilities of where it could be. I'll just hope that it'll pop up in the tank, and that's about as much as I can do, I think. According to my notes, I never actually found Raven's clutchmate, so I'm not really sure what happened there. I'm editing this in January of 2024, and I filmed her birth in May of 2021. This gives me the advantage to be able to show you how she grew over time, and she actually turned out to be really beautiful. I ended up selling her in November of 2021, and her new owners named her Raven, which I really liked. It is interesting to me to be able to look back on how I used to handle finding babies in the bioactive enclosures. I used to be so concerned about finding the clutchmate. Now I know that I can kind of look for the clutchmate over the next couple of days and really not overly fixate on it. It'll kind of show up if it does. Recently, I found a baby in Goliad in Linus's enclosure, and it was actually really beautiful. Over the next couple of days, I kept an eye out for it, but then when I was kind of dealing with some plants in the enclosure, I came upon where the egg that it had hatched out in, and I also found its clutchmate's egg, which had been eaten into midway through development by isopods. And you'll notice that I do not show you a picture of that because it was kind of gruesome. Unfortunately, with having isopods as cleanup crew in my bioactive enclosures, I now know this is a possibility. So I take eggs out of the enclosures when I can find them, and when I can't, I kind of just have to hope for the best. Now we're going back to May of 2021, when the best did happen. We found another baby, and this time in Linus and Teddy's enclosure. There it is. There's the other baby. Thank the Lord. It's up there. Okay. It's not the other baby I was looking for, but it might as well be. Here are the adults. And there's the baby all the way up there. They like to climb, let me tell you. Oh, it's going. Man, it's crazy. It's like a colony in here. There you go. There you go. Heck yes. Heck yes. Heck yes. Okay. So, now I can explain. I deep cleaned my entire room today, and there were no babies. But today I come in here after working out in the garage building some stuff that I need built. And first of all, I found Linus over here in between these tanks. So I grabbed him, put him back because this thing decided to pop open. And then I look up there and these lights aren't on, just the light. And straight through here, I see the shadow of a baby gecko. And I'm like, oh, it's Darwin's baby. I finally found it. And now I get up there and I see this thing that is obviously not Darwin's baby, because Darwin's babies never look anything like this guy. And I was not happy. I was not happy at all. I was like, what the heck? That's not what I wanted. That's just a whole nother problem. So luckily, I turned on the light, and bam, here's the other guy, all the way up there. I really like the height. But here are the couple. And I don't even know, it feels like just yesterday the other ones were born, so I don't know what happened there, but that's super weird. Maybe they just took longer to incubate for some reason. So Darwin's baby definitely escaped somewhere, and I'll probably find its remains somewhere from like a long time from now, and I'll be super depressed about it. But I still look in the enclosure because I don't know where else to look. Like, who knows, you know? Hi, Darwin. It worries me constantly. So I'm so glad I just found the other baby. So now I don't have to stress about it being loose. But I really need to get the doors done in these enclosures so I don't have to have this problem of finding geckos in my room. Because honestly, it's really stressful. And it's not even like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's like I'll just find animals around the room. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had these. But that's not the way to do it. I'd like to find them in the enclosure, or know they can't get out of the enclosure. But obviously some can, and some don't make it out. But that is awesome. Okay, well, I'm glad I found the other one, and I got it on video. We are going to finish this video up with another gecko found in July of 2021. Guys, baby gecko. I see one. I do not see the other one. It could be anywhere, including outside the tank. So let's hope it's not outside the tank, but baby gecko. Okay. Now that there's even more foliage in this tank, it's kind of hard. Let me get some stuff out. I just got home. Not okay. Put this one. There we go. New container. Okay, the problem is it's kind of on the plant. Okay. There we go. Just let it drop into my hand. Hey, cutie. There you go. So here, let's kind of look around a little bit and see if we can find another one. They like to get up high. I don't see one up here. I don't even see the adult geckos. Where are the adults? Here are the adults. Well, I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. Problem is, generally, if I don't find it right away, I don't really find it later, which sucks. I'm honestly not entirely sure where the little guy is. Or if the problem is, it's if there is a little guy. That's another unknown. I guess I'll just keep an eye out as I normally do. Again, it'll all be a little bit less of a concern once I get the proper doors on, because then I will know at very least that the babies are in the tank for sure and not off wandering about somewhere. Like the first gecko in this video, I never found a clutch mate for this gecko, named River by its owner. You can see that it turned out to be quite beautiful. Looking back on this old footage, let's see what I can take away from these experiences. It seems like there's been two major problems. Primarily, the doors didn't work, and they let geckos, the adults and the babies, escape occasionally, which was a problem.
The other issue is that sometimes I'd only get one baby, even though crested geckos lay 2 in a clutch, which means that something was happening to the other egg in the bioactive enclosures. Now, the primary issues with these were the doors, and also probably that isopods were eating the eggs, and also that I couldn't necessarily find the eggs. So, over the years, I've been trying to combat this. As you can see behind me, I did fix the doors, and I do hope to produce videos on that in the future of how I did that, because I've gotten a lot of requests for that. And then the other thing is that I try to take eggs out of the enclosures as frequently as I am able to. I still, in my old enclosures, cannot find eggs, but I take the eggs out and I put them in this, which I consider an incubator. It just sits on a shelf in my room, away from light, and they stay warm and humid. And this is filled with, 7 crested gecko eggs right now. The other changes I have made is that when I build enclosures now, I make specific places for the geckos to lay their eggs. I put only a couple flower pots in the background instead of a whole bunch of them. And maybe I put egg laying boxes in the bottom instead of a whole bunch of substrate. And then the final thing is that I've learned that I just cannot keep isopods in breeding enclosures. I tried to use dwarf isopods, as I mentioned earlier, and those still eat into the gecko eggs. So, any isopods are simply a no-go. Overall, with breeding reptiles, I'm trying to learn from my experiences the best I can, and I hope that you can learn from them too. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's going to be it.
Heck yes. Heck yes. Heck yes.